There has been scathing criticism of NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and his handling of the Ray Rice domestic beating video, and now an internal investigation is underway. Two NFL owners overseeing the investigation into how the league handled evidence in the Ray Rice case have pledged to make the findings public. Former FBI Chief Robert Mueller will lead the investigation. This comes after a bombshell report from the Associated Press saying a law enforcement official claims he sent the video of Rice punching his fiancée to an NFL executive months ago. The official also played a voicemail for that AP reporter from an NFL office number in which a female voice thanks the official for the video and then says, "You're right, it's terrible." Mueller's focus will be on what efforts were made to obtain video evidence, including if and when the video of Rice striking his wife arrived and what happened to it after it was delivered. Goodell has said he does not believe his own job is in jeopardy, but many are accusing him and the league of sweeping this incident under the rug. This is our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also send a tweet. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26 for life. In the newsroom, we have our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and our public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, no matter what people think about whether Goodell knew this video existed or should have known what was on the tape, a lot of people already have their minds made up about him.
Well, absolutely, and I think probably Roger Goodell is the only person in the country that doesn't think his job is in jeopardy here, because I think he's got about another month and he's done. As this has played itself out, at first the NFL said we didn't have any information to go off of, and now we learned that they had the video months in advance. That yesterday there was a report that Ray Rice told Roger Goodell in a meeting exactly what happened and how hard he had hit her. And if all of that information comes out to be true, the focus of this becomes why didn't Roger Goodell take swifter, stronger action at the beginning?
Right.
Jackie.
Yeah. Well, let's hope his job is in jeopardy, because this is absolutely ridiculous. And I never thought that I would thank TMZ, but I am thanking TMZ for releasing this video, because conversations like this are where people are having it. And it's way more, of course, it's way more than the NFL. It's about domestic abuse. But the point is that they thanked him, after seeing this video, they thanked him. Officials thanked him for being so apologetic and for taking a certain role. But they saw this and they knew that he had punched his fiancée/wife, whatever she is or was. But the point is, Goodell knew this, and he sat there and he did nothing until TMZ released the video. That's a problem. And
is it a problem for the NFL if they, in fact, are covering up issues for their biggest stars so they can keep them on the field?
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And if you step back and take a look, we spend hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on stadiums paid by the taxpayers that Romans would be impressed by. We spend enormous amount of money watching these games and making the owners rich, just as a diversion to us. But this diversion has real social costs, right? It has costs in terms of we idealize people like Ray Rice that are punching their spouses. Concussion occurs between teammates that pounce each other, not just at NFL level, but it is happening actually at high school level and PB level. So we need to start thinking about what is it that we're paying for.
All right, let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, we've got, of course, lots of comments about this situation. Let's go to Ben, the CPA, first. He says, I don't think I can watch another NFL game while Goodell is the commish. He's a lying sleaze. He knew that tape existed and did nothing. We have another one coming in. Roger Goodell needs to resign right about now. And then this guy says, if TMZ can really prove he knew about the tape, we're about to have another commissioner. And one more here, and this is another angle of this story, guys. Ray Rice avoided jail time in this case, and this is one thing that prosecutors in the case are really speaking out about now. They wanted to really throw the book at him, and they're upset at the crime that he was charged with, that it wasn't a felony.
Well, that's the prosecutor's fault, quite frankly. They knew about this tape. They had it. They made their prosecuting decisions with all the evidence in hand, and so they can't come back now and say we made a mistake. They knew what they were doing, and they did that on their own. And so I don't feel bad for the prosecution at all. I'm going to ask you this, Jackie. As a private employer, is it the NFL's responsibility to police off-campus conduct?
As a private employee, no, it's not their responsibility. However, when something's brought to your attention and your employee is doing something that's just immorally and unethically wrong, you don't just say, pat him on the back and say, we're going to suspend you for 2 games. Their own rules say if you get caught smoking pot, which I'm not a proponent of smoking pot, but if you get caught smoking pot, you're suspended for a year. But they have a tape.
Eventually. Yeah.
Right. But they have a tape showing a man beating up his wife, and they say you're suspended for 2 games. That's a problem. And no, it's not their responsibility to monitor every action, but when something is brought to your attention, you handle it and you act accordingly. And Goodell did not do that.
And I'm not trying to mitigate this, but I think it's a valid point. If he gets arrested, they cut him a deal that allows him to have no conviction. Why does the NFL then have to come back and say you're banned for life or you're fired or whatever?
From a legal standpoint, I don't think they do. But if they want to protect their brand, right, because that most of the time people do the right thing not because it's the right thing, especially in sports. They do it because it affects their brand, it affects their ratings, it affects the ticket sales. And if Goodell doesn't leave, I think fans are about to, and he should certainly feel the pressure on this thing. But so to answer your question specifically, they don't have the legal right, but their contracts have a lot of morality clauses. And if we don't think that this is horrific and this is something we're taking action about, then nothing is.
Real quick, does Ray Rice come back?
I hope not, because they need to send a message to the young men and women, but especially the young men out there, because those people are watching football. They saw someone who they see as a hero punch his wife, and the NFL said, okay, that's okay, we forgive you, come on back.
Can he come back?
They need to send a message.
Can he come back?
I don't think so, because this has been in the news cycle so long that no other team's going to want to put that brand on them.
All right, and Condoleezza Rice has been openly lobbying for this job for about 3 years now, so maybe she's already called into the investigators.
We'll have to see. We're going to talk about the other NFL star in trouble this week, too, guys, coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. So we'll see you then. Let's check in with Caitlin.